Hey everyone, I'm going to do a tutorial on how to replace your Supermicro fans, the really loud ones, with some Arctic F8 PWM PST fans, 80 millimeter fans. And the tools you're going to need are a Phillips head screwdriver, a knife, preferably a short one, so you don't need anything long, you just need a little bit of leverage and something thin. And obviously you need your fans, and yeah, that's about it. I guess you're going to need a Dremel too, but I'll show you what to Dremel. It's really easy. So this is your normal Supermicro fan setup. This case would have 3, so there would be one here, and one here. And they use these little retention clips to hold them in. So you just push this guy and pull up, and it comes out. And you can see we have our PWM connector here, a little plastic bracket holding it in, the 80 by, I think it's 38 millimeter, it could be 35, fan itself, the fan bracket, and 4 screws. And then on the mounting section we have these plastic guides, and there's a PWM connector right in the bottom, and then the PWM lead that goes to the motherboard. So this just lets you hot swap it. We're going to lose the hot swap ability by upgrading the fans, so that's not honestly a big deal. The fan wire is plenty long enough, and then we have PWM sharing, so you can plug in another fan to the end of this, and you can daisy chain them. I'll do this part in a second, but really all we need to do for this guy is orient it so that the back of the fan is facing you with the PWM connector on the top. And let's see if I can get this on camera. There's a little nub holding this plastic cover in, and what you want to do is you want to take your knife and slide it right between the PWM connector and I'll see if I can show you. Right about here. And what you want to do is you want to kind of insert a little bit and twist it away to unlatch it. And then you can also use your thumb on the other side. So you want to be very careful doing this. You don't want to push your hands together, because if you slip then you're going to be stabbing yourself. But just very carefully push away and twist. Just a little twist, and that connector will pop off. That's what's holding the PWM lead in there. And then we just take our 4 screws off. This will work on any Supermicro chassis that has 80 millimeter fans. Most of them do. I would say about 95% of them or more have 80 millimeter fans. And now they don't all have this style bracket. Some are just a straight bracket on the top here, and that's the part that we're going to Dremel out, because this fan, as you might notice, it would interfere with that, and you wouldn't be able to mount it up. So if you get lucky and you don't have this plastic part here, good for you, and then you don't have to Dremel it. You can just pull the fan off, pull this off, and put your new fan in. So yeah, just kind of wiggle this out, push the fan connector through. You can see how short this thing is. These things are pretty crazy. And so you're left with this guy, and really all you want to do is Dremel from about here all the way down, and you still want to leave this plastic part here and up. I guess it's not a huge deal if you cut straight across there, but this is what the final product looks like. So you can see I still have the rail for mounting it in, and then just a cutout. And what we'll do is, since they slot in this way, I want the wire to come out the bottom. So we have our wire coming out of the bottom. We're just going to reinstall the 4 screws. Make sure you get a good sized Phillips head screwdriver. If you use an undersized one, you might strip the screws. So do your best to just use the correct size, and you'll know when it's the correct size because when you take a screw and put it on the end, there's no play between the screw head and the tip of the screwdriver. Alright, so once those are tight, you can slot it in here, but actually before we do that, we're going to take one step further. And what I'm going to do is remove the guide rail. There's one screw, one Phillips head right there. It's not very long, just a couple turns. And this will just lift right out. So it holds in with this ledge here, kind of slots in, and then rotates forward and then screws in. And to take this PWM lead off, what I have to do is just pinch these 2 connectors down here at the bottom. Of course, it's harder to do this on camera. Oh, come on, you bastard. Maybe this one's broken. Nope. It's not broken, just need a little bit of extra love. So all you're left with is your guide, and just kind of slot this guy back in. Screw it back down. We can take our 80mm, feed the wire underneath. We want to go underneath the fan wall with the wire, of course. So we'll do that first. And then line up the rails, drop it down, it'll click in, and you're good to go. So a lot of people have asked me, when replacing the fans, you do lose a little bit of a gap here. And honestly, I haven't noticed any performance reduction because of that. I know it's suboptimal, but honestly, especially with the 2U, when you close the lid, it's going to form a seal right on top. With a 3U and a 4U, the fan wall is a little bit bigger, so the air flowing out of the fan is not going to be going around the fan wall. But yeah, I use this on both of my 3Us, my 4U 45 bay DAS, and I love these fans. I run them at full speed, and honestly, where my rack is, I can't hear it because it's in the garage. but I could definitely hear these when these were running, even at moderate speed. So these Arctic fans are great replacements. Unfortunately, you got to do a little bit of modification there, but honestly, that takes about 30 seconds per fan bracket. So it's really not a big deal. I hope this was helpful to someone out there. I was intending to make like a 5-minute video, but here we are at 10 minutes. So yeah, I'll wrap this one up. And thanks again for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.